Oh, hello. First video in a while, so I'm about to get back into the swing of talking to y'all. But we're gonna start off by talking about the beginning. It's gonna be the beginning of the cut, which, I mean, everybody can start something. Most people can, well, not everybody. Some people don't even start, but for those of you who do start, you know, the beginning is the easiest part. You're super motivated because you're doing something new. You're starting something new. But then once I talk through that, it'll be short because most people that do start, if you're watching this, you've probably already tried one before. So you know the start, super easy, super motivating. But then we'll get to the hard nitty gritty, the sub 10%. That is something different that most people cannot do. And I'm going to talk about my experiences with going sub 10% and how difficult it really fucking is, especially as a natural, which that's going to be the title of the video, the clickbait title. My experience going, I don't know how exactly, but it's going to be some clickbait title. My experience at 8% body fat as a natural or something. But obviously the beginning part, super easy. You're motivated. You just got done with the bulk, or maybe you've been fat for a while and you just want to fucking get lean, man. You're tired of being fat and overweight. You want to get super shredded, get some abs, maybe get some more girls. Who knows? I don't know what your goals are, but you know, obviously being leaner is healthier overall than just being like 20% body fat. It's not, 20% body fat is not good for anybody unless you're like a sumo wrestler and you're athletic in that kind of way, which I mean, then it's fine. But for the most part, most people want to get leaner because it's healthier in general. So easy. I mean, and even at the beginning, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, you can still snack, honestly. And like, that's what I did. When I was going to, because I've already been lean. The last time I cut, I got down to, well, I thought it was at 10% at the time, but now I see that it was not, it was more like 11, 12%, which is still lean. I'm not saying that's not lean, but I was not as lean as I thought I was. So getting to 10% now, it's still pretty easy because I've already done it. I already knew what it was going to be like. I already knew, like, I can still snack. Like, for the most part, when I got to 10%, I was literally still snacking. I was still going like 50 to 100 calories over my target. So let's say I wanted to eat at 2,800 calories per day. I could still snack to 2,850 or 2,900 and still be losing weight to get to 10%. So it wasn't like something that was that difficult because I'd already done it, and I'm athletic. So I still had energy. I still had, you know, enough fat that I wouldn't be completely exhausted. So like I said, getting to 10, well, so for some people it might not be as easy, but for me, I'm athletic enough to where it was easy. So it's just the more you do, the easier it's gonna be to get leaner. You'll be able to eat more and get away with snacking. So that's one thing I will tell you. If you want to get leaner to 10, at least 10, 12% area, as long as you put in work and like you do, like, you know, a morning walk, morning cardio, as long as you hit your cardio and work out hard enough in the gym, it's not too hard to get to 10, 12%. Now, depending on the starting point, if you're like really 20% body fat and you're super fat and it still takes you like, you know, like good 15 weeks, it might be harder towards the end of that 15 weeks because you've been hungry for that whole time. But let's say you're skinny fat, you're more like 16, 17% body fat, getting to 10% is not going to be that challenging. It'll be a little bit hungrier towards 10, 12%, but it's not going to be like detrimental. You'll still have testosterone, you'll still have libido, and it won't be that hard. All right, so now we got to that point. Let's talk about the difficult part. Sub 10%. This is where things get really tricky. I found out the hard way by having some binges that kind of set me back. Slowed down my progress, probably like 2 weeks. Honestly, I could have been leaner in 2 weeks. Oh, you got to cut out all snacking. There's no leeway. There's no room for error. To get shredded beyond 10%, you got, all right, and the fucking fan just turned off. The AC turned off, I'm gonna turn the fan on. You have to stay strict. Like I said, I found that out the hard way. You have to stay strict. And once you get to 10%, at least for me, like I said, this is my experience. When I got to 10% and tried to get below that, my testosterone plummeted because I got to that point where my body was like, all right, you're single digits now. We really got to start holding on to shit because we're getting dangerously low in body fat percentage. We can't have this. And so I really had to tank the calories too. I really had to tank the calories. And yeah, so we dropped it to 2,400. It was after 420. It was Easter and 420. That was a binge day. A little bit more than I would have liked. I probably had like 700 grams of sugar. Not just 700 grams of carbs, like 700 grams of straight pie sugar and shit. And yeah. And then I ended up having a fucking super crazy anxiety attack at 3 in the morning after that. And then that's when I was like, all right, I need to fucking lock the fuck in or this is not going to work out. It is not going to work out. Which, that's what makes you know. If you're getting anxiety from pushing yourself like something like that, if you do something bad and you get anxiety, that's a good sign. That means you care about this and you know you're doing something wrong. Fix your shit. So that's one thing. You really have to lock the fuck in, set your calories, and hit that mark. Don't go above at all. If anything, you want to go slightly below, just to give yourself a little bit more leeway. In case, you know, you go out to eat, the calories aren't going to be 100% accurate unless you're cooking everything yourself. So I might want to say that. Cook every meal. You're going to have to cook every meal if you want to get exact calorie counts. And one thing I found for me is that if I were to have, like, I was even eating bananas. So, you know, normally bananas are a healthy thing. But I was having blood sugar spikes and crashes. Because when you're that low, you have nothing. You're at the lowest point you can be in terms of, like, energy, blood sugar, all that. So when you have something like a banana or honey or whatever, boom, spike up to here. And then 10 minutes later, boom, spike down to here. So you're just constant roller coaster of shit and feelings, and it is brutal. So what I had to do, I had to switch over to keto. It was the only way I could not have like blood sugar spikes and crashes. So I ended up switching over to keto, which is mainly fat and protein. Carbs go to like 30 or less. You really can't have room for error there. So lots of eggs and meat and cheese and avocados. So there was that. I started eating avocados a lot more, and I'm actually going to carry the avocado part over into like my next segment of working out coming up in Monday. Monday is when I'm going to start going back to a regular program, and it's going to be hitting hard. This is the calm before the storm, by the way. So, and like I said, energy is super low. So when you go to the gym, you got nothing. So I ended up abusing caffeine. When I was bulking, my caffeine intake was like 200 to 300 grams. No, sorry, 2 to 3. Holy shit, 2 to 300 grams. 2 to 300 milligrams of caffeine a day when I was bulking. That would be my baseline average. And I was like, 300, that's pushing it, dude. I don't want to go that. Those last 2 or 3 weeks of the cut, I was abusing, dude. 500 to 600 milligrams of caffeine in a body that is only 160 something pounds. Yeah, that's kind of brutal. So I really ended up abusing caffeine because, like I said, you have no energy, you have no carbs. The caffeine can't hold on to anything to give you a more sustained energy source. They're like a low glycemic energy source. So I would drink that caffeine, do my workout. I'd feel great right before the workout. I start doing the workout, everything feels good. By the end of the workout, I'm crashed, depleted, caffeine's gone. Everything I ate that morning for energy to fuel me for the workout, gone. And then so I'd get back home and have to go buy another energy drink. Like 200 to 300 extra milligrams right after the workout, just to carry me to be able to do any like actual like work to try to make some money. So yeah, I ended up abusing caffeine. So that wasn't fun. I mean, it felt fun. I have a whole fucking row of fucking Ghost energy drinks right here. I'm trying to collect them all like Infinity Stones. But Sour Pink Lemonade is my favorite, by the way. Ghost flavors. So there's the abuse of caffeine. This all happened within like a span of like 3 to 4 weeks. So once I really got, like I said, once I got below 10% and tried to push after, this is everything after 10%. And so with having such a strict goal, it's a singular goal. You can't focus on anything else. You literally can't focus on anything else. You can't have an athletic goal. You can't really have any other goals because it's such a strict thing. Like you don't want to mess up anything by like, oh, I accidentally had this caffeine or I accidentally did this. Like everything is just focused on one specific thing. Number on the scale. And I guess number of calories, but number of calories leads to number on the scale. And basically the number on the scale is your reward. So if you don't get a reward, if you're starving yourself and you don't see any results, that will fuck with your head so goddamn hard that it just plummets your entire dopamine. Everything feels gone. So you really just, you got nothing, man. You can't, like I said, you can't have like a, if you're a runner, you can't have a running goal. If you're a lift, you can't have a strength goal. You're getting weaker, you're getting slower, you're getting fucking more tired. It's fucking brutal, man. This is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Unless you want to just get shredded. There's really no benefit to this except having less body fat. That is the only thing that you get out of this, is having less body fat and being more shredded. No, this is, like I said, this is coming from a natural perspective. Whereas if you're on testosterone or steroids or anything, it's like nothing's happening. You feel perfectly fine because your hormones aren't going to be fucked up because you're just pumping yourself with more hormones. So of course, if you're shredded and you're taking steroids, it's going to be easier because you're just going to have a bit like with more testosterone, you're going to be able to lose more weight. So like I said, that's why you have to just really plummet the calories once you get below 10%, because that's when your testosterone starts to just dive bomb. And once I got below 9%, that's really when it was like the last 2 weeks, I had nothing. I had nothing in terms of, male drive, none of that. Everything was gone. And like, I didn't even feel like I wanted to. I didn't even feel like watching fucking porn. I didn't even feel like watching, because like if I were to do that, I'd be like, well, I'm just losing more energy. I'd have to use energy just to do that. It's like I said, if I didn't even have caffeine in my system, straight zombie mode all the time. Zombie mode all the time. So I was getting, and at the final week, I got down to 2,200 calories a day. 2,200 calories, which, I mean, sometimes for some people, but that's also because I was like more athletic. I run and do more cardio and all that. So it's more higher than some people. Like I think Sam Sulek was to like 1,900 when he got close to show. Like I said, he's also on steroids. So, I mean, he's not going to feel as shitty as I would, even though I'm having more calories than him, because he has all that extra testosterone still pumping. So he still feels like he has energy. But, and then that final week, man, especially, let's see what I'm going to get. Yeah, the final week, especially when you get to carb up, that feels really good. But then it sucks because you're mentally, your body, and it's even worse because my mind was already thinking about, eating again and getting stronger, because I already have goals planned for after the cut. So I'm already thinking about those goals. Like when I'm trying to no, you can't think about that. You have to think about not eating right now. So like all my urges and everything were screaming at me to eat, start getting stronger, start getting faster. And I couldn't give in to those urges. So you're basically going against your subconscious trying to save you. Your subconscious is trying to save you from starving yourself to death. And so I was just fighting that. I was fighting natural urges, and that shit is mentally fucking mind fucked. And yeah, it is hard, dude. The only time I would feel any type of dopamine or like any like drive is when I was caffeinated. So that's why I ended up, like I said, I abused it. But then that final week, once I was able to eat carbs, it's even worse because I'm eating these carbs, and so my body's like, oh, you're getting carbs back in your system. Yeah, eat more. I'm like, nope, I have to stop eating. I can only eat this amount of carbs for this day. And so I'm still like, just like trying to fight the urges to not just keep binging on the carbs, which I wasn't binging. It was controlled rice cakes and, jelly and all that. But it's just fighting the urges mentally so straining on you. So you're like mentally and you don't have the mental energy because like your brain still works on also food energy. So if you don't have that, then you still have to like fight against everything. It's just pure willpower at that point. And like for some people, it's easier to be leaner. Some people are just naturally lean, so it's easier for them to not eat as much food. Whereas me, I fucking love food. I'm a food junkie. I got such a huge, diverse palate. I could eat almost anything. Like from fucking crazy ass, cheesy, over-globbed cheesesteaks to simple ass grilled chicken, grilled fucking regular ass rice cakes. I could eat basically anything. Because I got a huge fucking appetite. So not eating is super fucking hard for me. And I found that out because, like I said, everything below 10% was a new experience for me. I've never experienced trying to get to that 8% range. And so I don't personally know anybody that has also gotten to that range. So like I had nothing to base it off of. So everything I was experiencing, all the pain and misery, completely new experience. And so I mean, hopefully you watching this, you'll learn that take something from this, that it's fucking difficult. Mentally, it's fucking difficult as a natural. And I already don't think I have the most testosterone in the world, So when it drops, it's down to like, it was probably below, I wouldn't be surprised if it was below 100. I would not be surprised if it was below 100 at one point. But now I can feel it going back up now that I've actually finally started to eat. But you also got to think that for like, so I think I've gotten the most part, I got the posing for the most part. By the time I was able to actually eat and do like a full carb up on that final day beforehand, I didn't care about the pose down. I didn't care about how I looked. I didn't care about any of that. All I cared about was getting food in me. I really thought I was about to start. Like when I actually ate like a true carb meal on that Sunday, honestly, I felt like I wanted to cry. The overwhelming joy of eating something that actually tastes delicious and having carbs in it it was super salty too. It was so fucking good. God damn it. It was a calzone from Old Chicago. Holy fuck. That's probably the best calzone thing I've ever had in my entire life. But then after the pose down, and I was actually able to fully eat. You've seen, if you saw the cut finale, I had crumble cookie. I ended up having, there was a box of 4. I ended up having 3 of them that day and a bite of one of the other ones. And then I had like a cheesesteak, and then I had some Sonic that night with like a, did I have Sonic that night? I'm pretty sure I had Sonic. Yeah, but so that Sunday, my stomach hurt because I had so much of that food, and I ate even more than I was supposed to. So I probably came in a little bit flatter on Monday too than I should have been, but I still look really fucking good. My photos were fucking crazy. The veins are just popping out. And then so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and a little bit of Wednesday, my stomach hurt because I was straining that motherfucker, eating basically whatever I wanted. And then after, like yesterday, eventually caught up to me. I'm just like, I look like shit. That's the thing you also have to think of. You're going to be in such a lean fucking state. You're so driven that when you're done with it, you kind of have like a depressive state. Like, luckily I'm more self-aware, so I understood somewhat of what was happening, but you got a depressive state after that because you're so driven on one specific goal that when you're done, you feel lost. Like, you feel lost because you're like, well, now what? I'm fucking done. And then after binging, then you're going to fucking swell up. You're going to get a bunch of water and glycogen in your stomach. Your abs are going to go away a little bit, and you're going to be like, what the fuck was all that for? It's all gone now. And then you have no goals unless you set one right away. But I needed to take a central nervous system break because I had been basically destroying my body. I was basically destroying my body because I didn't have enough food or energy to fucking rebuild. So I was basically destroying my whole body. And so it's just like your body's like having like, it's such in a whirlpool of fucking, emotions, energy, libido, testosterone, hormonal levels. Everything is just in a giant fucking goddamn whirlpool tsunami of fucking chaos coming off of something like that, such a steep cut. But luckily now, like about 4 or 5 days later, my body's finally starting to catch back up. I gained like 7, 8 pounds, but now I'm slowly coming back to baseline. So I'm back. I was like 164 at the leanest, and I got up to 172. But now I'm kind of like, all right, we're back to like, I just got back to 169 today. So we're back in the 160s, and that's off of eating 4,500 calories a day, 45 to 5,000 calories. And once I cut back down to like a normal baseline, like 3,300 will be around more maintenance. I'll probably get down to probably back to 168, and I'm going to try and keep that for as long as possible. But once I get back onto a schedule, like once you get back onto a schedule and a strict program, you'll feel better. You will feel better. That whole week afterwards, you're going to probably feel like shit, depressed, and all that. Even though you're eating food, you're going to feel like shit because your body's still having to rebuild itself. It's having a completely full 360, 180 recover from everything. So just, I want you to, if you take away anything from this, do not panic about the week after. Just let yourself just feel whatever it is that's going to happen because it's going to feel like shit. It's going to feel like shit. So just let it happen. Basically like Tame Impala. Just let it happen. That song, Let It Happen. And then once you've like set some more goals and actually start working and building back towards those, you're going to feel like amazing. You're going to feel amazing because you're going to be so low afterwards that when you start working back towards something, your fucking dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, everything's going to fucking skyrocket. And you're going to look bigger too because you got super lean and everything. So all your muscles are fucking visible. But then once you eat, you're going to fill back up and it's just going to be like right now, I can look in the mirror right now and see my arms, shoulders, and chest. Everything looks bigger. I am a little flatter in my stomach, but I can still see the abs. So like I said, once I get back to eating not sugary bullshit anymore and I get back to a strict diet, all that blubber is gonna go away, and I'm gonna look shredded again and bigger. So just be warned, that first week or two afterwards, it's gonna feel like shit, but you will rebound stronger than ever. So that is overall my experience at getting to 8% body fat. Brutal, yes. I guess I can say worth it, because I've gained, the subscribers are not the main part of it. The main point is just to get to a good shreddedness. It's literally just, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing you get out of this except just being shredded. So you have to think that shredded is worth it. And it will be once I rebound and start eating again. I'm like, all right, now I'm in a state where I can build more muscle, because I was never lean enough to really be the most proper place to build muscle. But now I'm at the body fat percentage to where if I eat properly, I'm going to build more muscle than I ever did in the past 2 bulks. So now, once you get to this point, you're in a state of supreme muscle building. So that's why you got to take full advantage of it. Take full advantage of this state you're in right now to build as much fucking muscle you've ever seen in your entire life. And that is all. Like I said, this cut definitely has benefited me towards my goal more of monetization, of making this the life. This is the life I want to live. So I've gained 100 something subscribers in the past week from spamming these videos. All my fucking posts have gotten, the Reels, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels, TikTok, all this shit has gotten more views than anything ever before. So getting shredded definitely has its benefits online, socially, and everything. So that, like I said, that is my experience with being 8% body fat, or getting to. If you ever wanted to take anything away from this, take whatever you want away. But the one thing I want you to take away is that it will feel like shit. It's not going to feel fun. Unless you're on gear, it is not going to feel fun at all. It's going to feel like the worst decision of your life. But you must push through if you want to fucking be better than everybody else. Not in terms of I'm just better than everybody else. You know what I mean. You just mentally have better willpower than everybody else. You will have better mental willpower than everybody else. And most shit afterwards will feel easier. It's I was wanted to say this at the beginning. I forgot. Doing what I just did, that in the last 3 or 4 weeks of that cut, harder than running a marathon. And yes, I've ran a full marathon, 26.2 miles. I've ran a full marathon. This shit was harder than that. So it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be fun. But afterwards, it will be worth it. So stick through it. Push past your limits. Go beyond. Plus ultra.